Hello and welcome to the Mum Boss Method podcast, and happy Monday if you're listening to this on Monday. This episode is a Mum Boss at Home community check-in where I will be going through all of my community members' check-in forms and feedback forms, answering their questions, celebrating their wins, and overall just checking in on them, seeing how they're getting on. Okay, so let's start with going through the wins then. So Jamie has had her work agree to her going part-time, which is going to make a huge difference to her personally. So well done, Jamie. Helen did 2 Pilates sessions at home. She also journaled when she felt completely overwhelmed. I love journaling as a tool for this, so well done, Helen, because I know it can be really easy to just push on when you feel really overwhelmed, but you didn't. You stopped, you journaled, you helped yourself, so well done. Jack has had some blood tests and a scan she's had blood tests and she's got a scan booked. She's moved and kept to a routine, so she's got some issues going on at the moment which she is hoping to get sorted out in the next couple of weeks. Sarah is also injured. She's got a bit of a niggly knee, and she's really focused on getting lots of walks in and hitting her step goal. Well done, Sarah, because she can't run, struggling to work out a bit. Other Sarah isn't sleeping well at all. Normally this would mean she'd eat rubbish for energy, or she used to think that it would help her with energy, but she's realised it doesn't, so she's still stayed on track. She's maybe had an extra Diet Coke to help instead. Well done. Excuse me. Emma has made good decisions during 2 meals out and tracked everything. Amazing. Well done, Emma. Claire has had good food choices and good amounts of varied exercise. Tish can now fit into a pair of jeans that she used to wear. Well done, Tish. Soph has kept up all her steps and all her workouts. Steph has bought herself a pair of shorts on Saturday which were 2 sizes smaller than what she would have bought 9 months ago. Amazing, Steph. And Hannah has been trying some lovely recipes based on trying to eat up what's left over in the fridge and freezer before going away at the weekend. I love that. We don't need to waste food just because it's in there. Like, make stuff with it. I love it. I'm trying to think of some of my favourite. I always find stuff for a stir fry, and it doesn't even have to be a traditional stir fry. It doesn't have to be traditional stir fry ingredients. Like, I'll make a stir fry out of anything. I also love baked and roasted anything. Yeah, just love it. Okay, so we're going to get into some of the challenges and questions that the ladies have got for me now. So some really great questions and help with some challenges. So well done on sharing those, ladies. Let's go through them. So I did answer this in the WhatsApp group because it got asked yesterday in the WhatsApp group, but I think it's a really good one for the podcast as well. So should your calories be spread evenly across the day, or do you think breakfast needs to be higher if you're doing a workout, or does dinner need to be the highest to last you till the next morning? So this is a really personal preference. Okay, what I don't want, so let's say you're on 1600 calories, right? What I don't want is for breakfast to be like 100 calories, particularly if you find yourself, if you're prone to overeating in the afternoon. Then I don't want you to be trying to stick to like 100, 200 calorie breakfast. Everyone should be having, a good 300, 400 calorie breakfast is great. I would love for you to be doing that. But how you balance those calories is really down to you. What I wouldn't say is that you try and have, 200 calories for breakfast, 300 calories for lunch, 300 calories for dinner, and then the rest of your calories, like 700 calories on snacks. That's not going to work. We want you to be full at each meal. the way to think about this is actually, rather than your calories, think about your protein. So everyone's absolute minimum protein goal is 100 grams of protein per day. Now, some of you who are plant-based or pescatarian or vegetarian, you might have that slightly lower, but on the whole, I want everyone to be getting at least 100 grams of protein a day. So rather than thinking about spreading your calories, think about the spread of your protein. So in order to get 100 grams of protein per day across 3 meals, okay, you know that you're going to need to split that protein to make sure that you are not starving an hour after eating. So my recommendation is that each meal contains at least 25 grams of protein. Now, 3 meals of 25 grams of protein is still only 75 grams. So obviously you either need to then get another 25 in snacks, which would be quite a lot of snacks, or you need for some of your meals to be a bit bigger. Now, my personal preference, because I am most active in the morning, so I work out in the morning, I walk the dog in the morning, and I wake up hungry, I like a big breakfast. So my breakfasts normally consist of, at the very minimum, 30 grams of protein. In fact, I'm going to look at my breakfast this morning because I slightly changed it this morning. At the very minimum, 30 grams of protein. This morning's breakfast was, did I add it all on? 31 grams of protein. But it's quite volume. My breakfast is quite a big amount of food and fairly heavy on calories. So my breakfast tends to be at least 30 grams of protein and at least normally 500 calories, right? And then I tend to have a lighter lunch. So I've just had something, again, I'm just looking at my food because it's really easier to tell you. I've just had something that was probably about 350, 400 calories. And was 30 grams of protein. And then my dinner is much more, getting on for kind of 500, 600 calories and will be about 40 grams of protein. So you can see how the thing that is constant is the amount of protein that I'm having. I'm making sure I'm getting enough protein, because if I only have 20 grams of protein for breakfast, I'm then going to be hungry about an hour and a half later. But in terms of the split of your calories, that really is about how you prefer to eat. I tend to eat while I'm working. It tends to need to be something that is quite quick, that I've thrown together. A wrap, a sandwich, a salad that I've maybe prepped most of, leftovers. It tends to be just something really quick, and I don't spend a lot of time over it. And it's lighter because I'll have a little bit of a snack. I'll have some fruit, I don't know, later on, 3-4 o'clock, and then I'll have my dinner at about 6:30. So it's really down to personal preference. Some people just get on better by completely splitting it, 3 ways. A lot of people overeat in the evening. So if that's you, if you tend to overeat in the evening, I recommend having a bigger dinner, because that often helps. So it really is about playing around with it, finding out what works for you, and then adapting your meals around that. So I hope that helps. Okay, so someone in the group has had a really, really tough family week with a bereavement, a very sudden bereavement. And that's obviously really, really difficult, and sending my love and thoughts to this person. I've messaged them separately. I completely understand tough and devastating family news and how it can impact your choices. So I just wanted to read what this person has said. They've been eating more. although not as much as they would have done in the past, so that's great. And at the moment they're in survival mode, so she's travelling on Thursday to go to where her family live, where the bereavement was. She'll continue to eat high protein meals and limit the treats. Alcohol has been consumed for the last 3 days, but only 2 drinks per night. So like I say, I completely understand tough and devastating family news. We've had our fair share of that in my family over the last month or so. There's a few things to consider here. And, I went through this process myself when the first bit of bad news came. My instinct was to, eat the chocolate and drink some gin. And I had to ask myself the question, will the extra food and the alcohol help or hinder me long term? Now, I can only speak from my own experiences. Everyone has a different experience, particularly with alcohol, and I am going to come on to talk about alcohol a little bit more later on. Alcohol completely affects my sleep. I've worked out I can have 2 gin and tonics, and that, like singles, that doesn't affect my sleep any more than that, and I'm stuffed. I'm awake at stupid o'clock in the morning, and I don't really go back to sleep. And I know that lack of sleep for me, and pretty much for anyone else, is going to really affect how you show up. That is really going to be difficult for you to then deal with anything that's going on. So that would be my first thing, is to say that research shows that any more than 1 medium glass of wine will negatively impact your sleep. So even if you think you're getting to sleep easier because you've had a drink, it's helping you relax, it's not. It will be negatively impacting your sleep. So I know that by drinking too much, I'm not giving myself the best chance of being able to show up for the people that need me. The same with eating. Okay, so what I'm hearing here is emotional eating. I know that eating something treaty or sugary or high fat or delicious when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling helpless and useless, like you can't do anything, it gives you that moment of relief and feeling a bit better. But ultimately, it does not fix the problem. Okay, and this might sound, and I don't want to sound like I'm being really harsh. You and your family are going through a horrific time at the moment. But what I just want to remind you of is that ultimately making those food and alcohol choices, that's not going to help. That's not going to fix the problem. So be kind to yourself, but remember, being kind to yourself doesn't necessarily mean that you then make the less nutritious food choices and the less nutritious drink choices. So you've put in the question where I've asked you, what are you going to commit to doing this week to help move you closer to your goals? You've said taking time out, maybe journaling, exercise, which will be dog walking mainly, eating high protein meals, and looking after your family. So I know how important looking after your family is, and I just want to help you to see what the best choices are in order to do that. And that's not me telling you off for drinking, that's not me telling you off for eating more. It's just a reminder to everyone, life throws some crap at us sometimes, and it drives us to making those less nutritious choices, or the choices that we feel we fancy or we want in the moment to help us deal with the situation. But actually what we want and what we need are often 2 different things, and that's all I'm going to say on it. Okay, what else can I see here? Right. I've not been able to exercise as I've hurt my knee, which I've really struggled with, and it's had a knock-on effect with my food plan. So injury is tough. What I want to remind you of is that food is at least, if not more, 80% responsible for your fat loss goals. So even if you can't work out, making sure you hit your step goal, which I know you've been doing, and try to stick to your calories and your nutrition plan is vital. Because you don't know how long this knee problem is going to go on for, and I definitely recommend you go and see a physio, you go and see someone that can help you with it. You don't know how long it's going to go on for, and remembering that exercise is not the most efficient way of burning calories, it's not the most efficient way of losing fat. That is all done through your calorie deficit and your walking. So I'm really glad that you're walking. And that's brilliant, but just remember that especially while you're not exercising, it's really easy to just throw it all in and go, oh well, I can't do the exercise, so I may as well just eat what I want, and actually all you're doing is making the situation worse. The same person has said it's been the end of term and I've given in to all the treats in the office and staff room this week. Now, I'm looking for my hand cream if anyone is watching me on YouTube, right in front of me. I've got so many of you that are either teachers or work in schools in some way, shape or form, and this is really, really common for you. It's got to the end of term, you've been bought chocolate and gifts, sweets and biscuits, they're all over the place, you've gone home with some, and it's really easy, particularly if you're a bit injured and you've not been able to stick to your normal routine. You then give into it. So here's a challenge for any of you that have been sent home at the end of term with chocolate, sweets, biscuits, whatever it is. How long can you make it all last? So rather than think, right, I'm going to eat it all now and then it's gone, I want you to think, how long can I make it last by just having some every day and accounting for it? So this person in particular really had been working on getting a hold of their kind of evening sweet stuff, chocolatey kind of overeating. So don't undo all of that great work you've already done by just using the excuse that, one, you can't exercise because you're injured, and two, you've been given all of this yummy stuff from school. I want you to still continue to practice, plan in, and this is for anyone that's been given the gift of chocolate or biscuits or whatever, plan in to have a little bit every day and see how long you can make it last. Okay? Right. Good. What else have we got? Okay, so really struggling to sleep, trying to get more of it. We'll look into what can help. So I can help you with that, but here's the thing. You need to look at what is the cause of the lack of sleep. Get to the root problem, that's the key. So, we can chuck Calms at ourselves or Nito at ourselves or whatever, but actually all that's going to do is mask the problem. If we don't get to the bottom of why we're not sleeping, we're never going to sleep well. So do you have a bedtime routine? Are you scrolling your phone too late at night? Are you waking up because of noise? Are you waking up because you need the loo? Are you uncomfortable? Are you too hot? Are your pajamas not comfortable? Is your bed not comfortable? Is one of the kids getting into bed with you and then you're like hanging on to the edge of the mattress for dear life? Are you stressed, anxious, worried? Most people's sleep issues do come down to stress, anxiety and worry, and not having a clear and defined bedtime routine. Getting to the root of that problem is vital to fixing the problem. Okay, so let me know in the WhatsApp group what you think is the root of the sleep problem, and then I can help you. But something that I talk about my own sleep issues all the time. Something that I really kind of can't recommend enough is having a really structured bedtime routine. And that bedtime routine might need to start a good couple of hours before you want to be in bed. So for me, the things that I've worked out that really help me with sleep, I cannot drink anything after 8 p.m. And on some days that's really difficult. On a Wednesday when I'm coaching my clients all evening, I really want a cup of tea at about 8:15 when I'm about to go on my group coaching call. On a Thursday when I get home from boot camp, I've been talking for 2 hours, I'm often thirsty, I just want a cup of tea to sit down and chill. But if it's after 8 o'clock, I cannot drink anything. I can let myself have a couple of sips of water, because if I drink anything after 8, I am awake at 3 a.m. and that is my danger zone, and then I'm awake and I really struggle to get back to sleep, or I fall back to sleep half an hour before my alarm. Okay, so that's the first thing, is start your bedtime routine when it needs to start. So like I say, for me it starts at 8 p.m. with nothing more to drink. As much as I might want a cup of tea, nothing else to drink after 8 p.m. And then for me, I try not to look at my phone, at the TV, at any kind of screen after 9 p.m. I want to be asleep or lights off and eyes closed by 10 p.m. personally, because I get up at 5:30. So that, I know that's going to give me about 7.5 hours sleep, which is like quite optimal for me. So in order to be wound down and ready to be getting off to sleep by 10 p.m, I need to not be looking at a screen after 9. You know, the most I will go to is maybe setting my alarm if I need to set my alarm differently. And from 9 p.m, I'm going upstairs, I'm doing my skincare, I'm putting on my HRT, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm normally, if I'm honest, ready on most evenings, ready for bed by that time anyway. I've got my pyjamas on or whatever. And then I'm getting into bed by 9:15, and I am reading. So I read a physical book for as long as my eyes will stay open, and then by about 9:45 I'm falling asleep into that book. So then I lie down and then I start reading on my Kindle. Yes, I read more than one book at a time, but what ends up happening is I get a couple of pages into my Kindle and I have fallen asleep. And then the other things I'm doing is making sure that everything is set up for the next day. So I get my clothes out for the next day, normally workout clothes. In fact, most days it is workout clothes, because I'm either teaching, working out. Yeah. So I get my clothes out when I'm going to bed, so that I don't have to do that in the morning. You know, I've normally written a to-do list for the next day. So really having that wind down routine to help you is really, really important. But like I say, let us know what you think is causing the lack of sleep or the poor sleep, and if there's something specific that you've identified, let me know and I'll help you. Okay, so a couple of you have said that you're struggling to get your daily walks in. Now, some of that will be down to childcare, I know. Some of it is that you're not prioritising it during your working day. Okay, so if you are working from home, I want you to think about this. If you were working in an office, would you be sat at your desk for 7-8 hours without moving? No. Would you be having to move more than 10 steps to go to the toilet? Because, you know, I don't know about you, but my toilet is just across my hallway from my office here. But if you're in a works office, you would have to go more than 10 steps unless your desk is right by the toilet, in which case that's a bit rubbish. Would you take a lunch break? Yes. Would you, are there people in your team that smoke? Probably. There's normally at least one person. How often do they step away from their desk? Normally at least once an hour for 5 or 10 minutes to smoke. So I understand it can be really difficult when you are at home and when you are, just sat at your desk, but you need to make the time. You need to schedule it in. These things will not happen by accident. It can happen to me as well. I happen to know I need to take Charlie to the gym today at 4 p.m. And so rather than try and fit in my walk with the DOG, I don't know why I said the W word and then spell out dog, because he understands the W word. Anyway, rather than try and fit it in before then, I'm going to drop Charlie at the gym and then I'm going to take him out whilst we're waiting for Charlie to do his gym stuff. I've scheduled it in. That's, I know I need to get everything I need to get done by 3:45 today so that I can go and do that. And it was raining this morning, so I am on low steps. I've got like 6,000 steps to get. So plan them in. Now, a couple of you said that you were struggling to walk in the heat. And what I'm going to say to this is, listen, I get that when it's raining and freezing cold, people don't want to walk. And then it was 30 degrees on Friday. Wasn't as warm as that over the weekend, but 30 degrees on Friday, and that's not particularly comfortable to walk in either. I've said it already, I think. I couldn't get the dog out on Friday. We walked at 6 a.m. because I knew it would be cool enough for him, and then he only got one walk on Friday, and that's not ideal, but I had to go and get my steps in another way. And I did that by walking in the shade. I tried to leave it as late as I could before I went for my walk. I took a cold drink with me. I wore a hat. I had on shorts and a t-shirt. So I can't force you to go out walking in the heat. But what I am going to say is I notice that when it's raining, people are struggling to walk in the rain, and when it's too hot, people are struggling to walk in the heat. And we live in one of the most unreliable countries in the world for weather. So finding ways to do this where you can is really important. So can you get up and go for a walk earlier when it's really hot, or can you leave it till a bit later? I understand there are childcare issues for some of you around this. Some of you have mentioned a walking pad. I think that's a great idea. And I just want to remind you, because for a couple of you that have said this, walking is one of the key parts for you specifically on your fat loss journey, because when you don't make time or get out for that walk per day, you are only hitting 1,000, 2,000 steps per day. This is for anyone. 1,000, 2,000 steps, 3,000 is not enough for your metabolic health, right? Put fat loss aside. For your health, 2,000, 3,000, like really any less than 7,000 steps per day is not enough for your health. You will be a healthier person. You will be doing your health the world of good. You'll be doing the best thing possible for your health by trying to get at least 7,000 steps per day. And then if you are in fat loss, that is how you will be increasing your energy expenditure. So particularly if you are a small woman, okay, but this is really important for you, but for everyone listening who is struggling to get to 7,000 steps, I cannot stress enough that research shows for your metabolic health, and by that what I mean is your risk of cardiovascular disease, your risk of type 2 diabetes, your risk of certain types of cancer is reduced if you become a more active person. And a more active person is by getting about 7,000 steps a day. Okay, so irrespective of the weight you need to lose, irrespective of workouts that you do, workouts do not replace walking. It is the most effective way for you to increase your calorie burn per day over working out, and it is the most effective thing you can be doing for your health outside of doing 3 workouts a week and lifting weights 3 times a week. So rather than I'm not going for a walk, it's too hot, I want you to look at what can you do? What can you do? Can you get up half an hour earlier before it gets too hot and go out for a walk? Can you do a Steps with Rick or a Fit with Rick workout in your living room before it gets too hot, or a bit later on? Okay, go for the what can you do? So the answer to this should be that you're looking for solutions for this rather than just saying no to everything I'm suggesting. So my tips are walk early or late, take a very cold drink with you, walk for short bursts at a time. If you can't face a 30-minute walk because it's just too hot, just go outside for 5 or 10 minutes, and find a solution. If you've been thinking about getting a walking pad and that is something that is available to you, that you can financially commit to, then go for it. The fact of the matter is this weather likely to last? No, I mean, it didn't last today. It's sunny now, but it's not as warm as it was Friday. And I challenge you to think about how long it will be before you say that you can't walk in the rain. That's all. Just wanting to, highlight some of the excuses I hear. Okay, so I wanted to read out some of these excuses here. So under what went wrong or what did you find challenging and why? I drank too much, laziness, bad news at work, nice weather were my excuses. So I understand all of these excuses, and I think I've touched on these a little bit already. Question for you, and this is for anyone that has been making excuses: how are your excuses helping you to show up for you? That's all I would ask for you to think about. How are my excuses helping me to show up for me? And if your answer is they're not, what can I do instead? And it doesn't mean you have to not go to the pub for a drink. It doesn't mean that you have to not enjoy the nice weather. It doesn't mean you can't have a lazy day, but being selective with the excuses that you choose to listen to and you choose to take on board will help you to show up better for yourself. Okay, I love these questions. This person always asks excellent questions. Should you take your progress photos breathing in or breathing out? What a great question. It doesn't matter as long as you do the both at the same time. So I'm not going to lie, when I take my progress pictures, I don't think I just stand there like, I don't know. I'm doing this to the camera now, so if you're listening, you're not going to get the visual. But for me to breathe out, I have to really slump down, like that kind of tummy pushed out, shoulders hunched is a bit of a slumpy posture. So when I take my progress pictures for myself, I'm standing up tall, I'm imagining I've got a piece of string pulling my head up, my shoulders are rolled back and down, my chest is proud, my core is not sucked in, but I'm engaging my core by tucking under my pelvis, which doesn't mean I'm then tensing or sucking my tummy in, but having that good posture automatically will give you a better the posture is good, and then it's going to make you look like you are standing proud and stuff in your progress pictures. There's a lot of these online, and I've never done one. Maybe I should do one where you can do comparisons of, this is my progress picture when I'm just slumping, and this is my progress picture when I'm just engaging, and then this is my progress picture when I'm flexing. Maybe I should do one. But as for breathing in or breathing out, when you say breathing in or breathing out, what registers in my head is like sucking your tummy in. I don't want you to be sucking your tummy in. right? Because sucking your tummy in is the extent to which you can do that is going to depend on, are you a bit bloated? Are you due on? Have you eaten anything? Have you been to the toilet? So just have an engaged posture, like a good posture, like I said, shoulders back and down, pelvis tucked under, that will encourage your core to engage, and you'll really see some differences when you can stand like that. Second question from the same person: advice to get me over that first step and back into the gym. So their challenge earlier in the form was, I need to get some motivation to go back to the gym. I don't know why, but I really just don't want to go. I've been focused on my steps and doing over 10k most days. So well done for focusing on your steps, because you could just say, oh well, I'm not going to the gym, can't be bothered to do anything, whereas you're doing what you can. Here's my advice: just go. Take the action. Motivation isn't reliable, so make a plan. Decide on the day that you're going to go, decide on the time you're going to go, put it in your diary, promise yourself that you're going to go, promise yourself you're just going to give it 15 minutes. Tell us in the group chat when you've made that plan. Let us help you stay accountable. And just go. And like I say, promise yourself 10-15 minutes in there, and if you really don't want to be there after 10-15 minutes, then you can leave. But I bet you if you do 10 to 15 minutes, you'll carry on and you'll stay. And there's something I want to say about this, okay, because I bet what you've done is you've said to yourself over the last however long, I'll go tomorrow, I'll go tomorrow, I'll go next week, I'll go at the weekend. And this is the thing: we make and break promises to ourselves all the time. And when we do that, we break trust in ourselves. Think about if someone makes a promise to you and then they break it, right? And how you feel about that. Now put yourself in their shoes. Do you do whatever you can to not break promises to people, especially people that you care about? When we break that trust in ourselves, it's really important to remember we really are the only person we can rely on. You are the only person you can rely on. I don't care if you and the other half have the best relationship in the world. I know you love, and when I say you, I mean all of you, I know you love your kids to the ends of the earth and back. I know you know, if you've got a great relationship with your parents or your siblings or your best friends, whatever it is, that you feel like you can 100% rely on all of those people. But here is the truth: the only person you 100% can rely on in the world is you. So by making promises to yourself and breaking them, you are losing trust and faith in yourself. If you make promises to yourself and you keep them, you build up self-belief, you build up self-confidence, you build up trust in yourself. So when people say to me, how are you so motivated? How do you do this? How do you, work out, go to the gym 3 times a week, go for a run, every Sunday? How do you do this? Get yourself 10,000 steps. Because I make promises to myself and I don't break them. Because if I break it once, it becomes so much easier to break again. And I've built up so much self-belief in myself. I've built up so much self-confidence that I know when I say to myself I'm going to do something, I will do it. So make a promise to yourself, make a plan, put it in the diary, make an agreement, let us know in the WhatsApp group when you're going to go, let us help you keep accountable. And stick to the promise that you're making yourself, because I bet you wouldn't break a promise to your kids. You wouldn't break a promise to them for anything. So why are you breaking a promise to you? There you go. Okay. More here. Right, next one. An impromptu meet up with friends led to too many glasses of wine on Friday night. I woke up a bit hungover and cross with myself. However, I didn't give in to the hungover food cravings the next day and got myself back on track. So firstly, well done for getting yourself back on track. I know it's come to that time of year and I feel it in myself where a couple of drinks in the sunshine feels really good. Okay, and I'll fully admit I had 2 gin and tonics on Thursday night, I had 2 gin and tonics on Friday night, and I enjoyed both of those evenings. And for me, that's quite a lot of alcohol. Okay, but often alcohol isn't the main problem, it's the choices that it then leads you to making afterwards. Because you can absolutely drink sensibly and remain in your calorie deficit, but the facts are that after a certain number of drinks, the choices you make won't be goal aligned. It will affect the quality of your sleep, and it will affect your energy levels. And then subsequently, the choices you make after that will also continue to affect your energy levels and probably your sleep. The next day after a few drinks is often harder. You're more likely to not feel bothered. If you're feeling a bit hungover, you might be then led to go and eat more, snack more, overeat on your calories. You might do less steps. You might skip that workout. Okay, so I wouldn't advise that you drink 2 nights in a row normally, says the person who had 2 on Thursday and 2 on Friday. And I certainly wouldn't advise that you binge drink every week. You can enjoy alcohol, but sensibly. But let's make no mistake, let's be really clear, alcohol is poison. You know, if alcohol was a new invention now, if we just discovered alcohol, it would not be legal. It wouldn't be. Okay, it is a poison. And it, you know, drinking regularly will affect your progress, your fat loss progress. It will also negatively affect your health. So this isn't me telling you off for a couple of wines with the girls on a Friday night. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Sometimes those impromptu ones are really fun and the ones that are most needed. This is more of a message to everyone who is, you know, finding themselves drinking a lot more because it's the summer and there's more opportunity and the weather's been nice. Just remember that alcohol, it is not just about the calories. Yes, the calories count, but it is about all of the decisions that it changes, all of the things it changes in the follow-up to the alcohol. Remember, there's an alcohol cheat sheet in our app which will show you all of the calories across different alcohols and how you can then choose your alcohol more sensibly. But well done again for not giving in to hangover food cravings the next day and getting yourself back on track. I'm still over my calories and need to focus on reducing these down this week. So I've had a look at your calories, and I would say that for the last week you've been probably sitting at around maintenance. Now, looking at the days that you went over, I want you to try and figure out why this is happening. Is it tiredness? Are you pre-planning and pre-tracking your food, or are you adding it in as you go and then getting to the end of the day realising, oh, that's dinner and I don't really have enough calories for it? What is the reason that you're going over your calories? Is it hunger? Is it, if it's hunger because you're not full up enough, how can we add more veggies, more fibre to your diet? Because actually your protein levels look great. I've had a look at those. So I've got some examples from your food diary. So on Wednesday, the curry you ate at dinner was quite high in calories. It was about 504 calories, I think. So that added to the rest of what you had with dinner probably took you over. So this is where some pre-planning could be really helpful. Knowing that curry, you wanted that curry for dinner, but it was quite high in calories. You could have either changed some things in different parts of the day, or you could have said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have half that curry. I'm going to add a load of green veg to it to really bulk it out, plus my protein. Friday, it was your drinks that probably took you over. Saturday, I would say, can you reduce that pasta portion? a bit, that would probably help you, and then you could keep in your snacks. But like I say, your protein levels are good. So this isn't about cutting anything out. This is about what tweaks and changes could we make in order to help a little bit. So even with your Friday night drinks, wine is super high in calories. A bottle of wine is around 600 calories. And what you get 3 large glasses out of a bottle of wine, however many, medium or small. Whereas a single gin or a single vodka or most spirits and then a diet mixer is between 50 and 60 calories. So 3 single gin and slimline tonics are about 150 to 180 calories versus 3 large glasses of wine is 600 calories, right? So there are tweaks and changes that you can make. And what I say about alcohol is, go out, for sure, have one of what you fancy. So if wine is your bag, and I love wine, have a glass of wine and then move on to something that is a bit more goal aligned. Having that pre-planning and pre-thought, right, I've got that curry for dinner on Wednesday, is actually probably going to take me over my calories because it's quite high in calories. How can I still have the curry but stay within my calories? What do I need to do to my day? Do I need to make some tweaks to my day? Or can I have half a portion of that curry? I assume that was quite a saucy curry. Add in some veggies, which are super low calorie and filling, and the protein that you already chose. And that way I'm still getting the curry, but I'm staying within my calories. So it seems like here it's maybe a bit more about pre-planning and pre-thought. Okay, next question. If you've got any information on where to breathe when strength training, that would be great. I know we have to keep breathing when we're doing the exercises, but should we be breathing in or out in a particular way, if that makes sense? Like doing a sit-up or a squat, do we breathe in or out as we sit up, squat down? So you breathe out on the exertion, so on the hard part of that lift. So in a squat, or if I start with a bicep curl, breathe out when you're bicep curling up, okay? Breathing, hold on. So when you're squatting, assuming you're squatting weighted, you breathe out on the up because that's the push bit, that's the bit that is the exertion. When you're sitting up, breathing out on the sit up bit and in when you're curling back down. So we want to definitely don't hold our breath and we breathe out on the exertion. And my cue for that, because I used to hold my breath, is always use your breath to help you lift the weight. So even on a sit-up, which is body weight, I need to lift my upper body up, so I'm breathing out to help me with that sit-up. Great question. Okie dokie. Right, this person has struggled with being away with family at the weekend. She says, I do definitely make more conscious choices with my eating, and other habits do still, sorry, I've read this wrong. Although I do definitely make more conscious choices with my eating, other habits do still fall to the wayside, particularly this weekend, my water intake and movement. So the thing I want to say to this person in particular is going away to your family is a regular occurrence because that is where your family live. They don't live around the corner from here. So you do need to find a way of managing this as best you can. Because let's say you're going, you're going to visit your family for a long weekend or a weekend every month. That is going to be at least 12 weekends of your year, right? So it's a quarter of the weekends of your year. Now, knowing that, I'm not going to try and do all the maths here. I'm sure there is a way of doing it. But knowing that a weekend from Friday dinner time through to Sunday can be up to 42% of your week, that's quite a lot of progress and results and habits that you are giving away if every time you go and visit your family, your habits are falling by the wayside. Now, I hear that you are making better food choices. That's amazing. But what I'm wondering is that if you are, particularly you said your water intake and your movement are the things that fall by the wayside, are you then making it harder for yourself to get back when you return on Sunday or Monday to get back into the rhythm and routine of things? Leading into the excuses that you've made, you've said, I think what you mean is I just tell myself that I'm away so it's harder, I'll get back into my routine when I'm back home, when in reality there's more I can control that I could be doing. And I think that's probably true. I think there is definitely more than we can do. So, like, it's lovely to be able to go and, go somewhere and visit family. That's lovely, isn't it? And aren't we lucky that we've got family to visit? But what I would say is it sounds like you make life harder for yourself by doing this every time you are away. So thinking about, well, what can I do? What does that look like? Because bearing in mind all the times that I say this isn't just for 6 months, this isn't just for a year until you achieve your goals, this is for life. So if you're going to be traveling every month to go and visit this family, but this is going to be for the rest of your life, that every time you visit them, your habits fall by the wayside. So working out what you can do. So if water and movement are the things that you really struggle with, how can you change that up? Can you implement a 20-minute walk in the morning whilst the kids are like running around and being given breakfast by nanny and granddad? Are you taking your water bottle with you, or do you forget it? How can you make sure that it's around you all the time? Okay. Next, so over the last week I had spouts of really low hunger, particularly when it was hot. I'd have a good breakfast, really not feel hungry at all for lunch. One day I had half a sandwich and the other I didn't have lunch at all. On these days I didn't hit my protein goal. What would you suggest is the best thing to do in these situations? Should I have tried to add in a small protein high lunch or some protein fueled snacks? So I'd love to say that I understand a lack of appetite when it's hot. I do not. I'd say little and often is the winner here for you if you're feeling that you're not feeling hungry. Enjoy some higher protein snacks. And try to hit that 100-gram protein target every day, because unlike calories, your protein doesn't roll over. Okay, and you might find that lack of protein will affect you a few days down the line. So yeah, definitely add in a bit more protein in your lunch and some protein snacks to try and hit it. Okay, really, we're on our last question, and there's a really, it's really interesting. So I'm going to read out this question and comment. Is quite long. So workouts. I've been doing a declutter challenge this week ahead of the summer holidays that I've been doing in the mornings, and had planned to do my workouts in the evening. I've done my steps and stuck to other habits throughout the day, but I found evenings are too busy and go too quickly, and fitting even a 3 to 4 minute workout in is a challenge. I've been making the excuse that I'm too tired when I'm sure I could have pushed myself to do a short workout. It's more a mindset thing, and if I'm really honest with myself, by the time I get to the evening and juggling dinner, bedtimes, finishing work, I just can't be bothered to work out. But I have recognised this, and I have a new plan for the week ahead, and will be going back to working out in the morning. So I had a conversation with this person personally, and So we were talking about the July Movement Challenge. Now, the July Movement Challenge for me is up to about 4 to 5 minutes every day because our reps are getting higher. But I'm going to be really honest. So for those of you that aren't part of my client group, we've been doing a July Movement Challenge which builds upon 3 movements: push-ups, squats and sit-ups. And we started with really low reps and we've built on them as July has gone through. And in the first week, that at the most took most people 1 or 2 minutes. Even if they've never done a push-up before, it took 1 or 2 minutes. And now I'm looking at the times it's taking people, it takes me about 4 minutes, it takes other people 4 to 5 minutes, there or thereabouts. And I'm really, really pleased that this person was super honest with themselves when they filled in this check-in form. Now, obviously, you had this declutter challenge going on, which sounds amazing. But I really, really want to kind of be clear here that this July Movement Challenge was something to get you all in the habit of doing a little bit of movement most days. Now, I know we've had some rest days and stuff, and those rest days are there to help people catch up. And in the first 2 weeks of that challenge, it really does only take 1 or 2 minutes, which absolutely could be done when while you're boiling a kettle and letting a cup of tea brew. Absolutely. So this really prompted me to think about, and I challenged this person: if you're leaving this till the end of the day and you are really telling yourself, I can't do a workout, I can't do a 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute workout because I'm too tired, it's 8 o'clock and I'm too tired, then if you are not going to push through that and be really honest with yourself, then it needs to move to a different time of the day. And the July Movement Challenge was designed to be done at the beginning of the day. There's been a couple of times where I've forgotten to do it, and in fact, honesty here, we were up to so many reps I didn't include it in our Monday morning workout this morning because we were, I wanted to get on with the workout, and I still haven't done mine yet. And I know that if I don't do mine soon, I know it won't get done because I'm human too, and by the time I've done dinner and cleared up and done everything I need to do for the evening, do I want to spend 3, 4, 5 minutes doing push-ups, sit-ups and squats? No, I don't. Not when I've already done a workout today. So it's really normal, but we then need to find a way around it, because I know that that's not what this person is saying. I know this person had 3 to 4 minutes to work out most days of the week. I know they did. They've admitted here they couldn't be bothered. And that's a really, really good admission. That's a really honest admission. I just couldn't be bothered. It wasn't because I didn't have time, because of course I had 3 to 4 minutes. I just couldn't be bothered. So these challenges are here to help you to build up that consistency, to build up that habit, and to show you that a little bit of movement really doesn't have to take very long, and also to build your confidence in things like push-ups and squats and sit-ups. So if it's not working to leave things till the end of the day, a bit like tracking your calories, do it first thing. Get it done. Okay, get it done, and then it is ticked off. So well done for admitting that. The same person said, thinking about getting the kids involved in some movement challenges for the summer holidays. Any tips or ideas? My tip or idea is watch this space, because I've got something coming for August where everyone can get other people in the house involved. So bear with me on that one. Okay. Wow, that was longer than I thought it was going to be. Amazing. Have an awesome day, everyone. If you want to know more about how you can get involved in the at-home community or work with me one-to-one, check the links in the show notes. I'd love to help you. Have an awesome day. And if you enjoyed this, please make sure to share it and give it some love. Bye.